Now I find myself in an impossible position.
All hail King Aegon!
The enemy usurped my throne.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while now since the last trailer for House of the Dragon was released. Gonna get my thoughts on that now, along with the show's decision to cut out Sara Snow, Cregan Stark's bastard half-sister. So let's dive in. So what about the trailer? Well, I considered discussing it last week, but honestly for me it was a little underwhelming. I don't feel it provided us much in the way of anything new. In fact, they even mixed in a number of the clips that they used in past teasers and trailers. I liked the dueling black versus green ones they rolled out earlier this year, but I felt what we got this time was a lackluster effort. So that's why I waited a bit to comment on it, wondering if my perception might change with time, but no, that didn't happen at all. The main takeaways are that Aemond is criticizing his mother for still caring about Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenyra herself is questioning whether Daemon still supports her. Otto seems a bit concerned about the direction things are going, but we picked that up non-verbally in the last trailer too. So what we got was 2 minutes of largely recycled images, particularly of Alicent and Helena in jeopardy in King's Landing, along with these battle sequences. If this was a standalone trailer and by some sort of inception we could erase the memories of the past ones, I guess it would be great, but like I said, this didn't give us much in the way of anything new. Sometimes, too, less is more. My favorite image from all the previous promotions they've done is this one of Vhagar flying into action. I think if they had saved this clip until now and ran a short teaser with it, then it would have generated a lot more excitement for the season than what we just got. Granted, I think the show was so successful in season 1 and the anticipation is so high, they don't have to do too much to build up the hype, but no matter how popular a series is, they do these trailers for a reason to get people pumped up for the episodes, and this recent one just doesn't do too much. You know what's a really great example, too, of another top series taking a simple but effective approach to a promo? It's this one for the Ozymandias episode of Breaking Bad. It's so impactful in its simplicity with Bryan Cranston reading the Ozymandias poem. Here's the very end of that one.
Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
What I loved about this when they aired it was that it managed to pack the power, emotion, and the ramifications of that episode into the promo in a veiled way. And because the hype for Breaking Bad was so great at that stage, they went that route. And I think House of the Dragon could have benefited from that same approach now. Anyway, now let's talk about Sara Snow being cut from House of the Dragon. One of the points I've made since season 1 ended is that I wanted the show to give adequate time to Jace's trip to Winterfell. With the news that we won't be seeing Sara Snow, I think it's pretty clear that we're not going to have that now. People who haven't read Fire and Blood aren't going to notice anything on its face with the exclusion of her character. So, what's the significance here? Well, in Fire and Blood, it's rumored that Jace became romantically involved with Sara and possibly even secretly married her at Winterfell. Of course, Jace is betrothed to Baela, so this would open up a whole lot of potential conflict and story for both their characters and others as well. Since they switched some things up from the books in the past, they could have had it that Jace was simply tempted by a relationship with Sara and remained ultimately faithful to Baela, or even promised Sara he'd return once the war was over. It would mirror in some ways Robb Stark not going along with his own arranged marriage from Game of Thrones, but even more importantly, it'd give character building moments for Jace and Cregan Stark. Now I feel it's going to be a quick pit stop in the north in episode 1, and I expect to see Jace return to Dragonstone before that episode even ends. We had this shot previously of a funeral or some sort of tribute to Lucerys, which Jace is present for. My feeling now is Jace arrives in Winterfell, finds out Cregan is at the wall, so he flies there to meet him. We get a scene or two there, and that's basically it for the Winterfell trip, which is much too little for Cregan, who will be important moving forward, but it is what it is. My biggest issue with the series is that it's on a path where they move much too quickly from one big event to the next without getting enough character development, so that when we reach the big payoffs, they're not as meaningful. Here's an example from season 1. Viserys' impending fate and eventual death had real resonance because we spent so much time with him. No one, though, cared when Harwin Strong, the father of Rhaenyra's children, died because he was barely on screen. And this is a real concern as we move forward. Originally, we were told that Season 2 was shortened to make the story flow better and save another significant event for Season 3, but recently Sarah Hess's comments shed a bit of a different light on it. She said, quote, "It wasn't really our choice," end quote. This suggests that the network wanted to shorten the season, probably to cut costs. What we're seeing is the opposite of the final seasons of Game of Thrones, where Dan and Dave were in a mad dash to finish the series, and HBO wanted more episodes and seasons. While House of the Dragon is a good show, and I believe it will continue to be one, I feel they're missing opportunities to make it even better, to put it in the pantheon of the really great TV series. Game of Thrones, for all of its late season problems, was built on intricate character development in those early seasons. And with the exclusion of Daeron Targaryen in Season 2, the future of Nettle's character being up in the air, and now Sara Snow being cut, it feels increasingly like we're taking a more shallow journey into the story than we could have had. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're interested in more on House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire, listen to Caraxes and subscribe. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.